Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to the first installment, our first installment, I should say, of Building with Chimp and Name. With me, of course, I have Chimpact, so you can say hi.
What's up, everybody? This is Chimp. Today we're going to be building around Bisharp and Gallade.
Yes, he's actually correct because a few weeks ago, Chimp and I basically look at that using proper sentence structure. Chimp and I, or grammar. What the hell is it called? Oh my god, I'm already getting off track. Basically, we tweeted out if people could tweet at us cores that they want us to build around, and Raul Bermudez, as well as a bunch of other people, said Bisharp plus Mega Gallade. They actually work really well together. It's a really standard core, and that's what we decided to build around. So,
They both have really, really strong attacks, and they have pretty similar coverage.
just Gallade
Yeah,
having the
but
speed
Gallade
boost.
just and the superior close combat. Having close combat with 165 attack is just really, really good. Like even on resisted Pokemon, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely. And because we're going to be using these two, I feel we could either start. I don't know how you want to start this, Chimp. We could either start up with their moves or start up with teammates that actually help them. I think Gallade generally, as we were talking about earlier, it runs one set, which is SD, close combat, knockoff, and either Zen headbutt or something you actually mentioned earlier. What was it again?
Skill swap. You basically only use it for Sableye. When they try to Willow you, you just skill swap, and then they'll get burned instead, so that you retain your attack stat, and you can keep setting up swords dances.
Well, that sounds actually pretty cool. I don't know if we want to try that, but for now, let's just do close combat knockoff and swords dance, and we'll decide on the last move depending on how weak we are to something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how like Glade, like even though it does have stab psychic attacks, that it doesn't even need to run them.
Yeah, because close combat is just so powerful, and knockoff being just a great move in general. Another option, of course, is Ice Punch for Lanner's T, but I don't know. I feel like that's just wasted coverage since it only hits that. Outside of, I guess it hits Lotties as well, but knockoff is like standard on Gallade, so definitely gonna have to run that. I actually
Yeah.
have Mega Gallade next to Gallade just because I want to show you guys its insane stats and stuff like that. So, we'll probably walk around Bisharp and in like sometime soon. But I just wanted to say, when I look at these two together, I notice okay, I need a bird check, I need a ground resistance. I'm lacking Stealth Rock unless I want Bisharp to have Stealth Rock. And the good thing about Bisharp is it's a Lottie check, so as well as a Defog Punisher. So like if it comes in on Defog, it gets the Defiant boost, and I can Pursuit Trap or Sucker Punch, especially Lotties like that. So I'm already thinking about Lanner's T as a teammate, just thinking ahead. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to add to
absolutely. And
that.
you also get slow U-turns if you want to make it a little bit slower. Sometimes I like to run 108 speed on my landers nowadays just so that I can outspeed T-Tar and Adamant Bisharps. But it really depends on the rest of your team as well.
Yeah, so we're probably leaning towards defensive Lanner's T just for the reasons that he said, just because the slow U turns into just a powerful user like this, and Lanner's T, of course, baiting in Pokemon like Rotom, Pokemon like Ferrothorn, stuff like that. So Gallade can just punish those switch-ins very easily. So we might be leading towards a Stealth Rock user more so than a Choice Scarf one. So I guess this team could be considered more bulky offense than it would be hyper offense. But another good thing about Lanner's T is it works really well with Bisharp, being that it's a fighting resist. Gallade is also a fighting resist, but generally you don't want Gallade to take too much damage early on than it has to, because it's so bulky that it can already take hits from the Lottie twins, which at worst you speed tie, from Mega Sceptile, which is something that Gallade can definitely beat, as Mega Sceptile can't OHKO it, Manectric and stuff like that can definitely be threats to us. So I like the idea of Stealth Rock on Lanner's T, just because we don't have to run another Stealth Rocker, basically. And I don't know, another Stealth Rocker usually means another water weakness, unless we're running like Seismitoad or something.
And the thing about landers on this team is that you don't really, like, even if you're running Stealth Rock, you're not going to be running knockoff because you already have two very good knockoff users. So, like, there's not really a whole lot of moves that landers can even use anyway.
Yeah, and another point, we're not going to be using knockoff again because Lanner's T is also our bird check. So our check to Talonflame, our check to Mega Pinsir, which are two Pokemon that can definitely threaten Bisharp, being mind games with Bisharp, and then just flat out OHKOing Gallade with a boosted quick attack or a brave bird respectively. So because we are running Lanner's T as our bird check, I'm feeling like a defensive just leftovers variant would be better than running something like a Lumberry or Earthplate or something just for a damage output.
Yeah, you really want your landers to be able to take these hits.
Do you think we should run a bit like just a bit more speed just for Rotom that try and speed creep Azumarill hitting 219 speed? Or
Yeah, that's not
220?
a bad idea. Does Azumarill hit 218?
I believe Azumarill hits like 218, so Rotom hits like 219. We could actually look at it right here. Not even bad. That's not it. Azumarill. Yeah, like Jolly. This is not something that's
I
a
don't.
threat,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I don't think people run Jolly anymore.
yeah. But I know whenever I run Rotom, I usually always, if I'm really weak to Belly Drum Azumarill, I'll always run 44 speed Rotom just to outspeed it. So I think it's not bad that we have 8 speed EVs just to outspeed defensive Rotoms. Like at worst case scenario, because we don't want to be taking Hydro Pumps, of course.
Yep.
So what EV spread do you usually use on Lanner's T?
Well, nowadays it's 108 speed, a lot of defense, and then like 100 something HP. But you probably want more defensive landers on this team as a bird check. Like being able to U-turn or Earthquake landers or T-Tar before they go for Ice Beam on you. It really doesn't matter
Yeah,
if they're a fast T-Tar.
Yeah, especially because we have Gallade as well and Bisharp as checks, unless they're like you said fast T-Tar, which kind of sucks for us. But yeah, I'm thinking we can just go 248, max. I mean, we could go a little attack if we want to maybe get some sort of KOs and stuff. And as we go on, guys, we'll be using less standard cores and probably putting a lot more into it. But this is just such a basic core of these three together just pair so well that it's really easy just to put them there. And you're definitely going to want Impish Nature as you don't want to, minus your attack. Now, another thing that I can notice that we're weak to is we don't have a water resistance at all. I mean, this isn't part of the team. It just happens to be there.
So nice.
Nice Azumarill just making its own place onto the team. I'm not a huge fan of Azumarill at the moment, honestly.
It can definitely, like, belly drum sets are really, really popular right now, and for good reason.
Yeah, they're definitely strong, but unless Greninja does actually end up getting banned, I'm not a big fan of Azumarill, to be honest. We're weak to Keldeo, basically, so there's a few Pokemon that check Keldeo that pair well with Bisharp and Gallade. One, of course, is Latias and Latios, because they can both defog away hazards. And we have Bisharp, Gallade, and Lanner's T that deal with T-Tar and punish Pursuit Trappers, though, of course, Bisharp's a little bit annoying at the moment anyway. So, I don't know what you're thinking, Chimp. As a
Lotties are a great water resist, but like you said, Bisharp's one of the more annoying Pokemon to this team already, with Landers giving it Intimidate boost.
Yeah, and Gallade not appreciating Sucker Punch at all, in all honesty. Why is this the Gallade I point to? Gallade not appreciating it at all. So, I'm not really liking Lottie. We could definitely have a Defogger or a Rapid Spinner, but we do need a water resist as Keldeo is just alive, as well as Azumarill too. So, looking at the list, what are you thinking about, Chimp?
As a water resist, like, Lotties are definitely the first thing that come to mind when I'm thinking of answering a Keldeo. But you also have Slowbro, which is really, really good, Amoonguss. But when you're thinking about a team like this, you don't really want Amoonguss because it's a momentum killer.
Yeah,
because although it has Regenerator, it really has little offensive presence.
Yeah. Another water resist would be Keldeo, but Keldeo. But I was thinking along the lines of Rotom Wash. But then again, we already have defensive Lanner's T. So if we did run Rotom Wash, I tend to pair Rotom Wash with Choice Scarf Lanner's T, as it allows a nice revenge killer, and Rotom Wash already takes off the pressure that Lanner's T has. But I don't know. You mentioned Slowbro, you mentioned Amoonguss, but like as you said, Amoonguss is sort of a momentum killer, and I kind of like Slowbro, just because even though it makes us a little bit weaker to Bisharp and Scissor to an extent, it definitely has T-Wave support. Scald is nice for burning, and it can definitely take on sand teams as well, relieving a little bit of pressure from Lanner's T as well.
Landers.
Yeah, we can run like 40 Spadef, that way Choice Specs Keldeo doesn't KO it after Stealth Rock. So do you
It's
like...
also another great answer. I mean, the thing about Slowbro is it has like the same reason why we really don't want Lottie, but like
Well, it also
you
better
have to.
checks. Yeah, it also better checks Mega Metagross as well. Though,
It's also just another thing to take Dracos, like because a lot of people like to just initially try to Draco the Bisharp just to get a lot of damage off, but Slowbro can take the initial Draco and then you can regen and switch out.
yeah, and we of course can't use Mega Slowbro because we're building around what's it called. So I don't actually like Rocky Helmet much on Slowbro. As annoying as it is to face, losing that recovery just sucks. I'd rather lose it to knockoff than anything like that. But I'm pretty sure, like you said, we can just go Bold Nature. Slowbro was the one that we decided on, right?
Yeah, I mean
We can change it up.
when we give the team, yeah, you can always change it up if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, of course. Like for us, like if it was me, I would use a baiting like a Latias with like maybe the Brazilian Latias with like sub and HP fighting. But that's just me. And of course, you can just go 40. I like to run 40 Spadef. That way, Keldeo can't 2-hit KO me after rocks with Choice Specs Hydro Pump, which otherwise it can 2-hit KO you with. Obviously, you can optimize it for your own needs, but I do like the idea of Thunder Wave helping out Bisharp a lot for free knockoffs, as well as crippling.
Also, I like
Go.
also Rocky Helmet on Slowbro is also not as good because when you think about Rocky Helmet, like you're using it to take returns and knockoffs, while like knockoff is not as good because obviously they knock off the helmet, but Slowbro can't really take U-turns that well without leftovers recovery.
Yeah.
Well, something like Ferrothorn would be able to do that really, really well, and Garchomp as well.
Yeah, and another thing I like about Slowbro is it relieves the pressure again from Lanner's T from not only bird spam but like standard offense, which runs like Garchomp as well. Garchomp, basically bird spam with Garchomp. So Slowbro definitely relieves that pressure as it is not 2-hit KO'd by any hit Garchomp wants to go for. So Slack Off is 100%. You need it on Slowbro. Another one is Scald. Scald is just too good of a move to give up ever, in all honesty. Now we can decide between Thunder Wave. I think Thunder Wave is nice because we can cripple Lotties. We can cripple Greninja if it's around because 40 Spadef actually makes the roll a bit better for you. Crippling it for Gallade and Bisharp. It also just
giving
crits
them
up.
more
Yeah.
opportunities to use moves.
Yeah, I like Thunder Wave. And then the last move is always tricky. We could run Ice Beam for, I guess, Dragonite and Garchomp, as well as hitting Thunderous a bit more. It also hits the Lottie Twins, but Fire Blast is also an option for catching Bisharp off guard, stuff like that.
If it really depends on the rest of your team, you could also go Side Shot because if you're going up against a Calm Mind Keldeo,
Yeah.
Slowbro is actually just a liability because of Substitute being able to block Scald and Thunder Wave.
Yeah, and
But it really depends on the rest of your team, though.
yeah, another option is a Grass Knot for hitting Mega Gyarados. But now that Mega Gyarados has Crunch, it's even more of a threat. And it also hits Azumarill and Keldeo for a bit of damage. But as you said, if we're really weak to Calm Mind Keldeo, like for now, we could probably just put Psyshock just as a backup for Calm Mind Keldeo. And then if the rest of the team we don't agree with, we can just change it. What were you gonna say, buddy?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. So, looking at the team so far, we have Bisharp, Gallade, Defensive Lanners, T, and Slowbro. What are we looking a bit weak to, buddy? We don't
Bisharp.
yeah,
But the thing about Bisharp is that
it's hard to not be weak to it.
if you're weak to Bisharp and you have your own Bisharp, you can just put low kick on your own and make it jolly.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. We can even make this thing Assault Vest to relieve a bit of pressure on it.
Or even go Chopple.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
What does Chopple even let it live? Nice Gengar's Focus Blast.
If you go Psycho Cut, you can live the Mach Punches.
No. And do 39%. Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
You do 50 if you're adamant with Psycho Cut.
I definitely like the idea of Gallade Bisharp with low kick. It might not be even an SD, though it does make us a little bit weaker to Clefable. We can definitely play around that. We are also looking weak to Sableye, which is just an annoying Pokemon in general. So I do like the idea of putting Skill Swap on this Gallade. Of course, we can always change it up, when we finish building. But for now, I do like the idea of Skill Swap and going, Jolly. You want a max speed, just a speed tie with Metagross, with the Lottie Twins, outspeed Keldeo, Terrakion, stuff like that. It doesn't really matter where you put the extra ones. But I do like the idea of Skill Swap, honestly, as it does help you boost up versus, what's it called? The thing that you said, Sableye. And low kick is definitely an option as of right now. Iron Head, we of course need that for Clefable. Clefable, of course, being a threat too. Sucker Punch is of course needed, and now it's between, Knockoff. We need Knockoff. Knockoff is one of Bisharp's main utilities, so I feel like we don't have Pursuit, which kind of sucks. It's not like we're super weak to the Lotties anyway. As we speed tie them, we can Thunder Wave them. We get slow U-turns out versus them when they come in. So I like the idea of this set.
And like the thing about Pursuit is that they're always going to fear it anyway, so they might just stay in.
Yeah, Pursuit's always an option. So we can play around with the item. I do like Assault Vest, though it makes us a little weak. I think Lumberry is also a decent option for better taking on Rotom and Thunder Waving Clefable, for example. Shout outs to Telly. And
shout out to Telly.
So I think Lumberry is always an option on Bisharp. It's a nice option. Also helps you switch into Scalds, stuff like that. But we'll play around with, because we are running low kick, I feel like we need to run Jolly, as low kick helps us Oko T-Tar. We want to outspeed most forms of Heatran, and that means if you're running Jolly, you're just gonna want to max out your attack and stuff like that anyway. So we could decide between the item after anyway.
Yeah, I like Lumberry more on Swords Dance variants, but like it's really not a bad it's a great switch into Scald when you're running Lumberry, so it's really not a bad idea.
Yeah. So we could try it for now. We'll just put it. We still kind of hate
What is Luminous Moss?
Wait, what is that? Let's look what it does.
It's an item.
Raises special defense by 1 if hit by a water attack. Yo, let's give it to Slowbro. Let's give it to Slowbro. But yeah, all right. So we have Bisharp, Gallade, Landorus T, and Slowbro.
So like if you use Surf and doubles,
ooh,
that's not. Yeah,
that doesn't sound that good. To be completely honest. But we have 2-3 Pokemon. While we can deal with Keldeo, what else are we a bit weak to? Looking at the main OU list, we don't appreciate Manectric at all. So we have a ground type, but we still don't appreciate it. Or even a special wall would be nice. Even though we do have 2 steals and this is going more balanced than it is bulky offense, good options would be like Heatran to deal with Zard. But we have 2 Pokemon to deal with Zard.
Yeah,
honestly.
Slowbro is just like the Zard killer.
Yeah.
The Zard Y is definitely a little bit of a problem.
So, going back towards the Lottie option.
Yeah, I think Lottie's a little bit better than Slowbro.
Just right now, just running it on team, getting rid of Slowbro?
Yeah.
As a water resist, okay. We still don't have a switch in though for Azumarill, but we can keep playing around it.
Yeah, the thing about Azumarill is that even though there's not a lot of switch-ins like in the tier in general, unless you're running like a dedicated poison or steel type, because Bisharp cannot take waterfalls. Like you don't want Bisharp to switch in and take a hit.
Yeah.
The thing about Azumarill is that it's really, really slow, so you can get off in a hit initially. So if they're the belly drum variant, you just need priority in the back after that initial hit.
Yeah.
Or you just hit them hard enough to where they're not going to get enough HP after belly drum to belly drum again. I mean, after citrus to belly drum again.
Yeah, definitely. Life Orb is usually the option to go. We could decide between. I kind of like the idea of Healing Wish, just because for Mega Gallade it can take hits anyway.
But it's like you can just dip when you defog a Bisharp.
Yeah, get on out of there. Even though we don't really have and we can get the free switch into Bisharp. There it is.
Yeah.
I like Healing Wish. We could just go max. Honestly, you could go like 72 HP to take Greninja's Ice Beam, uh, and like to take 2 Keldeo Secret Swords after rocks. But I feel like max is better on Healing Wish variants. Just because you want to just have the immediate power and get on out of there. But that's my just opinion right there. So, alright, so we're going back towards bulky offense. Because we don't really have a dedicated Lottie switching, one option that we could do, Chimp, is change this Mega Gallade facade to a stealth rocking Clefable and making Landorus T Choice Scarf, which better helps us versus Mega Sceptile, Mega Manectric, Lopunny, Mega Gyarados, which you can superpower versus, stuff like that. And then we can make Clefable Stealth Rock the bait for the Lotties, and then we could always change Bisharp from there. But that's just one option I was thinking of, though it does make us a little... We hate Bisharp, obviously, but we do have...
Yeah, there's also the T-Wave support.
Yeah, which helps Bisharp and which mostly helps Gallade. So I kind of like Clefable, as it also gives us a Dragon check, a Mega Sceptile check, as well as a Manectric check.
Yeah, and the thing about Clefable versus Bisharp is that Bisharp cannot knock it out in one hit anyway.
Yep, and we can run Fire Blast over Flamethrower. That way we can knock them back out. No, we cannot, because we're running Thunder Wave. Okay. Well,
I mean, you can run Fire Blast over Thunder Wave.
I don't know, man. I like T-Wave.
Like the thing about team building is that you don't have to 100% run everything.
Yeah.
It's not 100% set in stone. You can change your sets occasionally.
Yeah, definitely.
Just so that you don't get counter teamed.
Yeah, and we're gonna run. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna run the standard X and Y spread, because I still think, because Clefable's job is to do what we basically put it there, to be a better sponge for Manectric, to be a better sponge for Sceptile. It also gives us a nice sponge to Thundurus. Even though these Pokemon aren't super common, we don't want to be super weak to them, if that makes sense. So 96 Spadef ensures that none of those Pokemon 2 KO us. 252 HP obviously, and the rest goes in defense. That way we could take on, physical defensive. We still take on Bisharp with this. And it is our Stealth Rocker, so I do like the idea of changing Landorus T to what's it called, to Choice Scarf. Though it is still our bird check, so we might actually need a bird check after that.
Yep.
So you would think Thunder Wave, or we can always play around it, so we could just put Thunder Wave for now.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of Thunder Wave. It also helps us versus opposing Calm Mind Mons, because while they can still Calm Mind, that Thunder Wave doesn't, they don't have a 100% chance to come through with an attack.
Yeah, it also changes up the way that they play with their Calm Mind Pokemon, because they have to recover a lot more often for fear of the double para.
To be honest, I think if we made Landorus T Choice Scarf, we probably have to add a Heat Ran. But then we have 3 steals, and we're so grounded and limited.
Yeah, if Dragonance Charizard with Earthquake would just wreck it.
I do like the idea though of Landorus T with Choice Scarf though. It does help our team a lot. But then again, the slow U-turn is nice. So we can always make it just support Clefable and give it Fire Blast, Thunder Wave, bait Clefable.
Yeah.
I think we could do that. It also gives us a secondary check to Mega Manectric, which can be annoying. Of course, we do have priority to deal with it. Because we do have Clefable, we probably don't have to run Skill Swap on this thing, because it relieves a lot of the pressure from Sableye. So we can, of course... Well, what do you think is better?
The thing is, without Calm Mind, Clefable can't really beat Sableye.
You're right. So I think Skill Swap is definitely still a good option. I chose Fire Blast over Flamethrower because it's Oko's Pokemon like Bisharp and Spadef SD Scissor can't use me as SD fodder, stuff like that. So looking good.
Also it does a significant amount more to Ferrothorn.
Yep. So I'm
also with T-Wave and Landorus still being leftovers, Charizard is not really that big of a problem.
Because Charizard generally tries to set up on Clefable. So nice, we got T-Wave off. T-Wave. And we never picked Bisharp's item. Oh, we did, Lumberry. Okay, so now we just need one last option. Honestly, I'm feeling a solid water type would be nice here, just because it gives an immediate Heat Ran switching. as well as relieves the pressure from Latias to just defog versus Heatran. So there's Pokemon. Well, we already talked about Slowbro, but then Slowbro just, I don't like Slowbro as much for this build. Keldeo is definitely like the option I'm leaning towards most. Another one being some sort of weird variant of Azumarill, but then we have Double Fairy, so I don't really like that. Keldeo is just a Pokemon I'm leaning towards as a good just water type in general. We could even make it Choice Scarf because it catches, it revenge kills certain things. It catches, well, Greninja is one Pokemon that's not here, but it catches Landorus T off guard, Choice Scarf Landorus T, and it just revenge kills so much. So, and it also helps us a lot with Gengar. So I do like the idea of Choice Scarf Keldeo.
The thing about having double fighting type Pokemon on a team like this is that you make yourself a little bit weak to fairies like Clefable. But since we're running Thunderwave on our own Clefable and Bisharp, like the chance of Iron Head hacks increases significantly with the para and the flinching. So fairies aren't that big of a problem when you're running support with this team.
Yeah. And of course, guys, we're going to put the team in the description, but you are, more than welcome to change it out and tell us how you did. So, yeah. And I do love the idea of Choice Scarf Keldeo on this team. While I usually put Hidden Power Electric to revenge kill Gyarados, because Mega Gyarados is so much more common now since it has Crunch, I feel like we could just run Icy Wind. Scald is, Scald. Hydro Pump ensures KOs. And Icy Wind or HP Ice. It just depends on how accurate you want to be. The thing about Icy Wind is that chance to miss, though it does lower the speed and give us support. We do have T-Wave, so I'm not sure how much we need that support. Especially because... Did they give this to download boost? I don't even know.
Yeah, split that for attack.
Hey, we could be a little bit ooh.
What is this?
This is toxic.
What's toxic for?
Just a nice buffer.
What are you gonna give a present to?
Hey, yo, I didn't know Keldeo got superpower. I'm sorry. I'm going a little bit off track right here. But I'm just trying to look at other moves. Because, obviously, I'm going to end up picking HP Ice or Icy Wind anyway. But I'm just looking through what this thing has. That would be pretty cool.
Looking at the team, like, now that we added Keldeo, like, do you think we really need low kick?
On Bisharp?
Yeah.
No, and we could actually run a more defensive spread, too. Look at Chimpact. See, this is why I like building with friends. Obviously, we're going to... Okay, whatever. We're putting Icy Wind.
Also, like, when you're building a team like this team is not going to be perfect. When you initially build your first team, this is just a prototype. You should definitely test your team out, see what you're weak to, and then make changes accordingly. You're not going to have a perfect team the first time you think of it.
Definitely.
Unless you're the shepherd.
Yeah, base Lord CCC. So we can definitely take out low kick, and we can actually run a more defensive spread on, not defensive, but we can just take this out for either Pursuit or SD. I do like the idea of double boosting Mons, though.
Yeah, especially with Healing Wish Lottie.
And Lumberry support. So I think SD is a really good. Adamant probably better than Jolly.
At this point, sure.
Yeah. And we could just go max because this is generally the max spread on things. So I like the team. What do you think, Chimp?
Perfect. Well, not perfect, but
guys, there's no such thing as perfect team building at all. As Chimp already mentioned, but this is our first episode of building with Chimp and Name. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely go check out Chimpact. Leave a like and subscribe if you want. Leave your cores. That's what I forgot. Leave your cores. 2 Pokemon that you want us to build with below. We aren't like. It doesn't have to be OU. It doesn't have to be OU because me and Chimp and I, we play different tiers. So the OU is probably easiest for us to build. But I don't know. That's it. Chimp, you want to say something?
Follow me on Twitter at Chimpact. Don't put that in.
Yeah, I will put that in. And I'm not editing this out. I'm also not editing this out. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want. And until next time, later.
This is weekly.
Yep, it is. This is going to be... I'm going to try and make this weekly. Oh, crap. I forgot to say that. I'm gonna try and make this weekly, guys. So I hope you all enjoyed. I want to see the support, honestly. You know, the likes, the comments definitely give us more incentive to continue doing this. I'm gonna try and do this every Friday, especially because this is gonna be up Friday. So yeah, bye. Nice. That